Now, entities that are recognized as NPOs, it's important to note that there is no legal definition of a not for profit organization or an NGO. But there are certain types of entities that are widely recognized because these types of entities have the character of a not for profit organization. So, as far as the social stock exchange is concerned, you will be happy to know that normally what is recognized in the social sector as a not for profit is pretty much the same requirement. So we have charitable trusts that are registered under a specific statute of a state. It would be pertinent to remember here that states like Gujarat and Maharashtra have their Public Charitable Trust Act, and there is a charity commissioner who kind of regulates the charitable trust. The other form of entity that is very popular is societies. There is the Societies Registration Act 1860, and also equivalent acts in different states are there. Many of the states that don't have an act for the public charitable trust, the principles of the Indian Trust Act apply. And as it is widely known that organizations get their trust deed registered under the Registration Act of 1908. A very emerging form of not-for-profit entity is the Section 8 company. So not-for-profits registered under the Companies Act under Section 8, and formerly it was Section 25. So in addition to trust society and a not-for-profit company under the Companies Act, SEBI may also specify other entities from time to time. So if you're one of these types of entities, then as a not-for-profit, you go through the stream of registration and then listing for the not-for-profit entities. Now, there are certain other criteria as well. So there are about 3.5 lakh not-for-profits in the country that have a tax exemption, under Section 12A, 12AA, 12AB, or 1023C and 1046. Now, if you're one of these entities, it's also important that your organization has been in existence from your date of registration at least for 3 years. Then there are other two important criterion related to your size and the level of fundraising activity. So the annual spending you should have in the last year at least 50 lakh minimum, and at least 10 lakh funding you should have received in the past year. The SSCs may also have, that is BSE and NSE may have additional criteria, but these are the bare minimum that apply for an NPO to register on the social stock exchange. This is again in this tabular form, we have clarified this in a much more easily understandable fashion. So again, you're registered as a trust society or a Section 8 company. Important to note that your registration certificate should be valid for at least the next 12 months. There are many states now that have registration, the renewal of your primary registration as a trust or society. And therefore, you need to remember that you have a validity. And if your application for renewal has been submitted and the validity is not extended, you will have to be in queue or wait for registering with the SSC. Then the ownership and control, you need to make a disclosure whether the not-for-profit entity is owned and or controlled by government or is private. And this is a disclosure requirement, and this will be verified based on your governing document, which is your memorandum and articles of association or your trust deed or the memorandum of association and bylaws, or if you may be referring to it as a constitution of your organization. So that is the document that has to be submitted based on which it is verified. Then we come to exemptions under income tax. We just talked about 12A, 12A, 1023C and 1046. So if the organization needs to have an exemption certificate, the certificate needs to be shared with the SSC for verifying your tax exemption status. And again, it is important that, if your organization has got any notices or is under scrutiny, it is kind of important to share those details. And if you're levied any penalties or, if an imposition happens within 7 days, you need to inform the SSC. Now, the SSC will take a view based on the notices or the scrutiny details that you have shared. And if they are of the view that it is grave and it can impact your exemption status with the income tax, then you may be disqualified for registration. Going further, the most basic thing that every not-for-profit entity with a 12A would have is your IT PAN. Again, the point to note is organizations have sometimes changed their PAN because it was not in the right category. Make sure that you are sharing your PAN that is currently valid and it's also reflected in your exemption certificates and your tax returns, etc. The age of your organization, if you wonder from where it will be determined, it will be from the registration certificate. Sometimes we do observe that your date of registration does not appear the same on your PAN card, and it is not exactly the same sometimes on Darpan, because from your registration, from your trust deed, sometimes the date of the deed is taken out and sometimes it is the registration. So these are all scrutinized by the teams at the stock exchanges. Then you need to also make a disclosure whether tax deduction is available to the donor. So tax deduction we know is under Section 80G or Section 35, 12, 13, etc. So it's important to kind of make a disclosure. And if you have a tax deduction, then what is the validity period also needs to be. And this is for to help your investors or donors avail of tax deductions. And for the social enterprise requirements with regulation, 292E of ICDR, these may be specified by the SSE and as may be specified by SSE. That is the additional requirement that you should always watch out for. Yeah. Now, we also talked about in an earlier slide, the past spending in the past financial year. It should be at least 50 lakh rupees. And in the past financial year, you should have also raised about 10 lakh rupees. Now, once again, for you to do a quick self-verification or checklist of where you stand, you might want to kind of look at this table. Every not-for-profit that applies for the SSE registration has to be on the Darpan portal. As you would know, the NGO Darpan portal is run by Niti Aayog and it's a fairly simple registration process. Sometimes the technology takes time on that site for you to get your registration in place, but they have a helpline. So you must definitely ensure that you have your NGO Darpan ID. We talked about the age of the organization, ensure that your registration as a not-for-profit, as a trust society is valid for the next 12 months. In case of a company, you don't have a renewal as a Section 8 company. Make sure that the governing document of your organization is available. The tax deduction, tax exemption documents are there. We already talked about if you have an ATG, you need to share it and ensure that it is valid for the next 12 months. And again, on the spending on the programs and activities of the organization, just ensure that, you have looked at this number in your income and expenditure statement or your receipts and payment or your fund flow. Further, on this checklist, make sure that all these are in place, that you have your books of accounts audited for the last 3 financial years, that your PAN is valid, that you have received. We talked about in an earlier segment about an eligibility condition, about 2/3 of your activities. The average in the last immediately past 3 years, 2/3 of that, the revenues should come from offering services or products to the target population, or 2/3 of your expenditure should have been on the target population, or 2/3 of your beneficiaries or customer base, especially in case of, those have to come from the target population, target regions. So just make sure that you are tracking these numbers and you're able to provide an evidence of that. Any pending notices that you have, not just from income tax, but your primary regulating authority or even from the MHA, etc., just make sure that all of that are kept in place and you know your latest position, and it is up to the SSE teams to review them and take a view. Now, let's see how to get started with the registration process on the social stock exchanges. We just talked about the eligibility criteria. If you're a not-for-profit organization, we said that the first step is for you to register your organization. We went through the various criteria for you to qualify for registration. We went through a checklist. If all of that was yes, Then you simply go on to either or both of the exchanges, BSE and NSE, and it's a simple online process to get started. So let's look at BSE. Once you go on to, you have the URL here, BSE Social Stock Exchange .com. Go on to the site, and then it's very evident here. There is a green link called register your interest. So go there. And if you go on to the NSE, then, click on new registration. Again, here the NSE URL is given here. Okay. So very basic details are asked, the applicant's details, and you just keep following that process. You will get your user credentials. So after you fill the basic details, you would get your password, etc. And like any normal application process, you can get going and just take a note of these URLs.